Hi, I'm Josh. I wasn't the perfect employee, far from it, but I gave everything I had. This is my story. I was never the perfect employee. I don't even know what perfect means, but I gave it my all. I showed up earlier than everyone else when the city was still asleep and left long after the office was empty. I took on the tasks of those who missed their deadlines or just couldn't keep up. I stayed late into the night under the glow of a single lamp just to meet impossible deadlines. I believed in the company, in the team, in their mission, and, like a fool, I thought they valued me. One morning, just like any other, I arrived early, brewed myself a strong coffee, and opened my carefully planned weekly schedule. 15 minutes later, my manager approached. His face was serious, but I didn't feel alarmed. "Josh, Mr. Howard wants to see you. It's urgent." I thought maybe it was about the project. When I walked into his office, Mr. Howard didn't even stand up. He was flipping through papers, not looking at me as I stood there. Then, finally, he looked up and said, "Josh." Mr. Howard didn't even lift his head. "You're too initiative-taking." I froze. "Excuse me?" He closed the folder and sighed like he was tired of explaining the obvious. "You disrupt the balance. Here, they respect order, not those who ask questions." "Is this a firing?" "Exactly." He didn't apologize, didn't thank me. Just said, "You don't fit in." As if I were a bug in the code. And that was it. No thank you, no explanation, just leave. I lay in darkness, turned away from the window. The room smelled of cold coffee and dust. My phone vibrated every half hour. Parents, girlfriend, friends. I didn't answer. Even when the battery died, I didn't care. I wasn't angry, didn't cry. I just felt nothing. Until inside, it flared up. They were wrong. On the fourth day, I sat down at my laptop. I was building a system that could spot the bottlenecks in a project a week before the deadline. It analyzed response times, employee activity, errors in the workflow, and showed exactly where everything would fail. I tested it on real data. It worked. Flawlessly. But every time I tried to talk about it, they told me, "Not your level. Just do what you're told." I kept it all secret, thinking, one day I'll show this to Mr. Howard, and he'll say, "Wow, promotion. Lead this project." But instead, he fired me. And that's when I realized, no one's coming to save me. If I don't show the world, no one will see. I spent sleepless nights coding till my eyes hurt, eating instant noodles because even delivery was too expensive. My parents said, "No, son, get a real job. You're not an entrepreneur." Even my girlfriend, who supported me at first, later said, "Maybe it's time to stop playing startup." But I didn't quit. I knew it worked. I had prototypes, screencasts, calculations, all proof of my idea. I was eating dry noodles when a notification popped up. Subject, "Let's talk." I froze, opened the email. "You don't seem like a director, but I can see you believe in what you do. Call me tomorrow. I want to hear more." I read it 20 times, fell back on the couch, and for the first time in a long while, smiled and fell asleep. At the meeting, he said, "You're not a marketer, not a director, but you believe in the product. It shows. I'll give you a chance. $1.2 million for 15% equity." I paused for a second, then breathed out, "Deal." 2 weeks after the investment, I rented a small office downtown. It wasn't just a room. It was my base, the place where a new life began. Those first days, I walked in with excitement and a heavy sense of responsibility, like captaining my own ship to success. Every corner, every desk, even the walls, seemed soaked with the promise of a bright future. I bought a couple of desks, chairs, set up a whiteboard for ideas and tasks. The sound of keyboards and phone calls filled the space. I felt everything moving forward. After a month, I had a small team, 3 people who believed in me and the idea. We worked 12-hour days, supporting each other and learning on the fly. I remember us solving problems together, debating, finding better solutions, feeling unity and drive. These were people unafraid to take risks who believed in change as much as I did, each in their role, developer, marketer, designer, all burning with one purpose. And then, a month and a half later, we landed our first big contract. The company that Mr. Howard's firm had rejected decided to work with us. That was a sign that everything I did wasn't for nothing. The contract wasn't just a win. It was proof that persistence, faith, and hard work can change your fate. I remember getting the notification. My heart raced. Tears of joy welled up. For the first time, I felt in control of my life and capable of creating something real. He walked into the office and didn't immediately recognize me. I silently watched as he sat across the table. "Funny," I said, scanning his resume. "It says here, you know how to listen." He froze. I stood up and looked him straight in the eyes. "All right, Mr. Howard, we have a strict corporate culture. Let's see if you can adapt. You'll start as an intern." He blushed, didn't say a word. "See you Monday, and don't be late." I smiled, but this time, it wasn't joy. The man who once called me too initiative-taking now brings me coffee during meetings. It wasn't just a win. It proved that belief and persistence can flip the script. Never give up. Being thrown out might be your first step up. But just as I thought I made it, a new challenge appeared.